In this video, I'm going to show you how Stannis Baratheon uses the 48 Laws of Power to play the Game of Thrones. Stay tuned. Hi y'all, Fellow Kenobi here with Stories Teach, and welcome to the Games of Power series where I talk about the 48 Laws of Power and how Game of Thrones characters use or misuse these laws to play the Game of Thrones. And today I want to talk about Stannis Baratheon. So, if you guys are ready, let's get started. The first law I'd like to cover is Law 24, Play the Perfect Courtier. I have talked about this law in other videos, and there are a number of characters that execute this pretty well. Characters like Varys and Littlefinger. But compared to those characters that I listed above, Stannis really isn't like any of them. He doesn't play the Game of Thrones very well, and I'm going to explain to you why. In the books, he's often described as being very unyielding. Here is a quote from Varys describing to the readers the kind of man Stannis is as compared to his brother Renly. They are quite a pair, Stannis and Renly. The Iron Gauntlet and the Silk Glove. Stannis is stubborn to the end and says what's on his mind, not worried about who he's talking to or who he may be offending. The prologue of A Clash of Kings describes him like this. He had never learned to soften his speech, to dissemble or flatter. He said what he thought, and those that did not like it could be damned. Though he was respected for his strong sense of moral and ethics, he was never really liked by anyone because of his inability to flatter. This cost him in the end because at the time of great need, for example, when he tried winning the throne from Joffrey after Robert's death, noble houses didn't come to his aid and instead went to Renly or supported Joffrey. Granted, before the Battle of Blackwater Bay, he was able to secure the loyalties of bannermen originally loyal to Renly, but only after killing Renly and forcing them to support him. If he were a more likable guy from the beginning and able to play the game a little bit better, he would have probably had that support right off the bat instead of Renly. In a way, he caused himself his own setback just because he couldn't appeal to others in a more flattering way. And this brings us to our next law, Law 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. Stannis, from day one, wanted to disrupt King's Landing. He was always very open about what he thought, and he didn't like how things were done there. The most powerful operated in the shadows, and the city was steeped in corruption, and Stannis' solution to this meant outlawing things he didn't agree with, and stripping powers from those in the royal court he felt brought rot to the city, and who weren't of noble character. It was no secret to anyone that Stannis didn't like brothels, so everyone expected that if Stannis ascended to the throne, he would likely outlaw brothels. Because he decided to voice his feelings on this instead of hide them, he created enemies of people who either profited from or enjoyed them. People like Littlefinger and nobility who were frequent patrons. It was also no secret that if Stannis were to take the throne, he would purge the royal court because they were corrupt and only did things based on their own self-interest. Fearing to lose their power and influence, they did what they could in the shadows to work against Stannis. To explain Robert's transition, it makes sense why it was such a smoother transition of power, because he didn't shake things up. So when he took the throne, no one really plotted against him. If anything, they loved that Robert was king because he really didn't give a crap about anything. Everyone in his court and around him were able to gather more power and influence because he was so to the side with everything. Since those in court want to keep their status and power, it's in their best interest to align with each other and either push outside factions to stand with Renly or support Joffrey as he ascends the throne. For them, either ruler is a better choice than Stannis. So if Stannis was less open about his belief and blended in a little bit more with Westerosi nobility, he would have garnered more support and possibly even taken the throne from Joffrey. he did get the throne, he could have still outlawed brothels and gotten rid of the royal court. But he never had a chance because everyone hated him. Which brings us to our final law, law number 5. So much depends on reputation, guard it with your life. With everything said and done, he ultimately created a reputation that didn't put him in a position to do the things he wanted to. Instead, he built a reputation of a man that had a stick up his butt, and it didn't help his cause one bit. I believe he actually could have probably done things a little bit differently and created a reputation that favored him a little bit more, but Stannis really just is not that kind of guy. He didn't really have the forethought or understanding that even though good and bad is black and white, you can't play the Game of Thrones in a black and white kind of way. To do good, sometimes you have to do a little bad, and to do bad, sometimes you have to do a little good. His inflexibility didn't allow him to react and adapt to what was going on, and instead he just whined and complained about things and how they should be. So instead of playing offense like Varys or Littlefinger, he played complete defense. In my opinion, he was always going to lose the Game of Thrones. It was only a matter of time. But what do you think? Do you think Stannis was always a losing player? Did he ever really have a chance at the throne? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If I deserve it, give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos. If you have any suggestions on any new videos you'd like me to do, let me know in the comments or message me and I'll hook it up. By viewer request, my next video will be about Varys and how he plays the Game of Thrones. So special shout outs to Danijel Mulugeta and Weed Run High for the video suggestion. So thank you so much and stay tuned.